Ashe Catching, and today I will be presenting the Practice Brave podcast. The podcaster is Brianna Battles, and let's begin. So, let's do the connection between this podcast and athletic training. So, for this podcast is focused mainly for women and developing when it becomes to becoming pregnant, entering motherhood, postpartum, and still wanting to still do the athletic training. Um, until I got interested in Pilates, I thought there was an extreme pause when it came to working out in pregnancies. And with Brianna Battles, she made this podcast to show women and to bring in other women to explain that no, you don't have to just stop working out, and no, you don't have to modify. She was showing them different ways to how to handle it, especially with postpartum and also with trying to stay fit and not having to lose all that exercise and that training that you worked for. Um, so, and another thing I liked about her was the fact that she is also a mom. So she's not just a coach or anything like that that is just speaking to. She understands it and she gets it and she's able to connect with them. Also, being an athletic trainer, a mom, and now let's put these two together to give you the information that you want and need. So, Um, I purposely chose this podcast because when I was younger, would wanted to be a doctor, especially with OBGYN and dealing with pregnancy, because I feel like pregnancy and giving birth and all the stages of that is extremely beautiful and wonderful. And the fact that we can grow a human being in us and they're breathing and alive, and then you take them out into the world, and that is just amazing to me. In my free time, I take the time to look at animals and humans giving birth. I would say for me personally, I've realized that I don't really have the stomach for it, even though my cousin did try to persuade me to continue to do it. I just feel like no. And also at this time of my life, yes, I'm still young, but I just don't feel like I want to go through all of the classes necessary to become an OBGYN. I think that I gotta find a different way. So I take my time, and the way I live through it and becoming an OBGYN or living through my dream of being it, I just look at podcasts, I watch videos, I watch documentaries, just so I can get that, like, oh, this is so cool feeling without being like, oh my gosh, there's just all this gunk and blood and everything that's literally on me. So it is, this podcast did brighten it for me and become a better understanding for me, because in my family I always seen the women just not working out. Like, they didn't work out, they just ate what they wanted to. Like, they didn't really have that like push to do it. And because I am a dancer and I've danced my whole entire life, and I like actually, going for walks, and I don't want to like gain a lot of weight just to lose it. Like, I understand, like, I'm going to gain weight when I become pregnant. Like, that's understandable. I'm growing a human being. But I also don't want to just give up and not do anything. Um I would like to inform, like, the people in my family that are still able to be pregnant, to explain to them, like, you don't have to not, work out, or you don't have to just give up on what your body used to look like and feel sorry for yourself. Like, you don't have to do that. You actually have tools, and there's podcasts now to actually help you out. And this way I will be more comfortable when I become pregnant. I feel more healthier and relaxing. I don't want to obsess over it. Like, if I became vegan, I don't want to be obsessed and be like, I'm only eating vegan food. But like, I want to, still do the things that I'm supposed to do health wise too, and remember that I still need to keep up with my athletic training. So, some fun facts. So, fun fact, she is the one that started this program because when she became pregnant, she realized that there was not really any information on becoming an athletic trainer and still being pregnant. It's like you got to give up one or the other kind of thing. And I kind of think of it as like a, when you get pregnant at your competitive job, you're risking everything as a woman, but the man is not. So I enjoyed and I love the fact that she was like, this, where is this information? And decided to just jump into it for everyone around her. In this discussion, the one that I really pinpointed was with her colleague Heather Osby, and she explained like the different stages of her pregnancy. So like fun facts about her was that she would exercise, and one thing that she would make sure she would do is stay in tune with her body and how her body felt at all times during this pregnancy. So um she would make sure that if one exercise she was doing for a while and then the next week it was a harder type of thing, then she would modify it or change that exercising, realizing she couldn't do that. So one thing that she pinpointed was that in her second trimester, she was able to do something with her abs. And 2 weeks later, she was like, "Oh, I'm about to fall over. I can't do this." And she realizes it's like, "Oh, okay, I'm getting bigger. It's not all there anymore. My abs are gone." And then one thing that I really liked that Heather Osby said was she was saying like, "Oh, well, actually, if you just further educate yourself," which I feel like this is a lesson for everybody, so that's why I kind of pinpointed this fact. When you further educate and research yourself, you feel less self conscious about what's going on around you and who cares about what's going on. If you become more educated and knowing like the proper ways and what you need to do as your person, as a body, regardless if you're postpartum or if you are currently pregnant, even if you're not even pregnant, like these are the fact that you become more knowledgeable and educated makes you feel like, oh, okay, like you can keep looking at me like you if you want to, but I know that right now and how I feel, I can only do 3 of these, and that's what you're gonna do. So Brianna Battles. Um, so again, I will recap that she targeted to women pregnant or postpartum. She is the founder of Pregnancy and Postpartum Athletics, and she is also a mommy of two.